I always know it's gonna be okay in that aspect. Like I've had like I said, younger, we had our days, and even being older with my own children, just kind of like, you don't know where it's gonna come from fully and completely, but I know that God got me. I know that we're not gonna starve. So for me to be able to be that in someone else's life for that day that I do serve, like, they know that today they won't go hungry today.
Anita's been out there serving food, serving people. She's been doing it on her own dime, doing it out of her 2-bedroom apartment, feeding 25 people a meal, doing it all herself. Which, by the way, I had the privilege of sitting with her the other day at her house as she prepared to deliver a meal. I got to take some home, and those are the best sweet potatoes I've ever had. I didn't get to tell you that yet, so that was like, that was.
And I was like, I'm waiting. I'm gonna be patient and wait.
So I want to let you know, so on camera, those are the best sweet potatoes I've ever had in my life.
So growing up, it was mostly me and my brothers most of the time. My mom worked, and or whatever else was going on in her life. And so there were times where it just seemed like it was just us. Sometimes there wasn't much to eat and just kind of had to figure it out. There was some not so great days. It wasn't easy. A little bit, so, getting a good boil there. Go ahead.
So you start prepping like the day before?
Oh yeah.
How do you plan all this? What do you?
What I'm making, I just determined like the meat. I did it as late as I could last night because we want it to be as fresh as it possibly can.
The thing that's really cool about Anita, other than the fact that she's just serving people, doing it herself and on her own dime and not waiting for other people to show up and to giving her permission to go do this, she just does it. But what I love about her is she is real passionate about the cooking part of it, right? So she's not just sitting there trying to get, well, let me get a canned meal together and hand that off. She told me one time, she said, if it came from a can, it better not taste like it came from a can.
It doesn't have to taste like it came from a can. But yeah, I prep whatever I can, and mostly it's the meat.
Okay.
Whatever meat I have, depending on what it is, sometimes I've gotten up at 6, and I've started cooking meat at 6.
Just so it's fresh.
And so when I was 12, that I went to neighbors a couple times and knocked on the door and asked if I could do something to get some lunch meat or some hot dogs or whatnot, and they let me. I then now remember that even at that young of an age that I did whatever it took. Mindset anyway. So to be able to get this, it's just come from me not having a choice. I'm not gonna get emotional with you today.
No, you're not. Okay.
So really just not having a choice. You had to figure it out with my brothers and sometimes with my own children. You just have to go for what you know and make it more. So I just think of stuff and I do it. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes I don't have all the funds that I would like to have that I could, see other people having those opportunities. So
that's frustrating.
That's why this moment, no matter where it goes, it gives me motivation, it gives me hope that there is someone like you who knows that it's not always easy.
It's not.
And so
it's okay.
This is my purpose, and I was gonna do it no matter what. And I was gonna do it no matter what. So I would see our older people at the store by themselves, and I just hated it. And so I didn't like it because I'm like, they don't have anybody, because I know how it feels to not have someone. And I just was wondering, like, what can I do to help? What can I do to show them that someone still remembers them?
Good Good morning or good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to get started with our day in a little bit. How you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm just doing a little bit of touch up here in the parking garage at work. I'll be headed that way in just a minute.
I'm really excited. I can't wait to dive into the day.
Okay, me too. See you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right. No, that's all right. We're just connecting with a good friend of mine.
Okay.
All right. There he is. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good.
Hey.
This is Anita next to you?
Yes, it is. Anita is a pretty special person. I'm glad that I'm getting to connect two pretty special people right now. Yes.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege to talk to you both.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Anita. This is Mike, and Mike works for a company called Pure Charity. And Pure Charity works with a lot of nonprofits, and you correct me as I mess things up, Mike, but they work for nonprofits, and they help facilitate a lot of the needs of them. And Mike, I'll let you kind of explain a little bit. She really doesn't know kind of what we're doing and what we're talking about right now, or what this is.
So we offer some services that really allow really people like you, from what I understand, the work that you're doing, to go pursue serving people very passionately. And then we kind of try to help take care of kind of all the business side of it, the operational side, so that you can focus really on the things that you feel like you're called to do and serve more people.
So the thought process is that you are serving people, you're out doing this thing, but you're funding it all yourself, you're doing everything yourself. And so my thought was, well, how can we help you so that you don't have to do all this by yourself to fund it? And one of the ways I thought was, via, as a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. The problem with starting a nonprofit is, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but there's just months, it's just a long process. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's expensive. It's full of paperwork. It's not. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
So anyway, it's just to become a nonprofit is just a big hassle and ordeal. But with a company like Pure Charity and with like what Mike are doing is, you're going to be able to work alongside Pure Charity and be able to come underneath them as almost like an umbrella, so that you can operate as a nonprofit and not have to go through all the paperwork, not have to go through all the legality of setting it up and the expensive lawyers and all that kind of stuff. And you can come underneath them, and you can then be able to collect donations. And so people can donate to you and to your cause, and they handle all the processing, they handle everything, they handle the auditing, all the things that are involved with a nonprofit, they're able to take care of, so you don't have to fool with that. And you can just go cook food, and you can go cook, and you can go serve, and you can receive funds.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Mike.
People, we use this term, we walk behind giants, of these people who are doing giant works out in the world, and we just want to walk behind and kind of allow you to kind of run as far and as free as you feel that you need to, and we'll try to kind of keep all the rest of the details together
That's
for you.
amazing.
This is just one of the ways that we think we can help launch this idea and make it easier for you to do more of this. Yes. So, thank you, Mike. And so I will. I'll follow up with you, I guess, as far as kind of how to get everything situated and whatever she needs to submit to you. And I think the process is going to be pretty painless, from my understanding. Yeah. So it's pretty painless.
I know. I'm like, okay.
I love it. So just Anita has no idea who you guys are, what you're doing, what your expertise is, why we're even all sitting at this table together right now. So, with this Launchpad, it's all about how can I take this idea and how can I launch it and take it into this seed, and how can we grow it? If you can't communicate that message, as y'all know, right? If you can't communicate the story, if you can't communicate what it is you do, right? So we just talked with Mike at Pure Charity about nonprofit and getting her embedded with them. But if you can't communicate that message and people don't know what it is you do or how you do it, then it confuses them, and you just lose them. They don't help you. And so Brad is an expert in messaging and helping people and brands understand that message and how to tell that story. Because ultimately, if you can tell the story, then more people will come on board and help you out. And so what Landon, he's a designer, graphic designer, amongst other things. And my thought was, look, if we can get you up and running so that people can know your story, and now they understand your story, well, we need to put some graphics together to help you communicate what that looks and feels like. And so I wanted Landon, Vig, courtesy of Brad, he connected us, so that I wanted him to come in and be able to create a logo for you, so that you'll have that for any of the stuff that you put out.
So we're excited to work with you and help you get this going.
Thank you.
And I know, so I'm a messaging guy. I've got a lot of questions I'm going to work through with you, just kind of peeling back the layers of this whole thing and figure out who you're serving, what problems are they having, what's causing them to have these problems, and how can we position you as the person to help these people. And so, I want you to walk away today with a clear message. So when people come up to you and they say, hey, what do you do? I want you to have a really good response to that question, so that people immediately want to just buy into this. And so I'm a messaging guy, and I'm a conversion copywriter, and that's fancy language, and all that means is I write words that make people want to buy things.
Right, I'm a words girl too.
Oh, perfect. We're gonna get along great. And so Landon here, he's gonna come in, and Landon he's a super successful business guy here in OKC. I actually wanted him to participate in this because he's gonna have some thoughts that I may not have, but also it helps him to hear this discussion and hear your heart behind what you're doing. That helps him kind of create his thing. Did I say that right? Okay. So we're just gonna work with you for the next couple hours and do some creating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you, Ed.
Yeah.
Look at you.
No, we're just trying to make it. I shared your story with T.W. Shannon over at Chickasaw Community Bank, and they were so moved by all that you're doing. They want to help launch your idea. They want to donate a little bit to help you with your new Sunday dinner. So
Nathan should have gave me the tissue.
anyway, they want to help. They want to donate into the nonprofit thing. So anyway, they're gonna put $2,000 into your nonprofit to help you cover your food, to help you so you don't have to buy the food, you don't have to buy the platters. Yes.
Oh, wow,
So
that's amazing.
yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
so when you and I first hopped on that first Zoom call, and I saw how emotional you were about this project, and I knew it meant something special to you. And I just knew that anything that is that important to somebody, that's something I got to get involved with. And so I just want to say thank you for trusting me, this guy, just random guy, to be like, hey, I got an idea. Let's figure out how to do. I want to do something with your story and with this idea that you have. But by the way, I'm not telling you anything what I'm going to do.
I know, that was hard for me.
Was it?
Yeah. So I'm like, being a person who I need to know what's going on. I have to have that control. I need to know all the information, all the details. But this time, I don't know if it's just the dynamics, but I was like, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go with it, because I felt like it was a God thing overall. And so I was just like, okay. The root of it is that I've been there. I've been in situations to where people have come through, and it wasn't necessarily family, where people have come and they provided a service or a need. And if it wasn't for that one person, then I don't know what way I would have had to take. So for me to be able to be that one person, that's everything. That's fulfilling to me. That's it. And it only takes one. It only takes one person to show compassion, to show empathy. And so if I can be that one, I'm happy. Like, good. Was it good? Did you enjoy it? Did it come right on time? Those are the things. And for me to spend what I have, I'm just blessed to be a blessing, because like I said, a year ago, I was not in my own home, and to see how God has taken me from that year ago and then moving into my own and then still having road bumps to now to where I'm able to provide this service to other people, is just like, look at what God can do. And if he can do it for me, then he can definitely do it for you too.